folks, today I have someone very special in the studio. He's been down and out, but he's picked himself up and he's brought himself to new heights with fitness, motivation, meditation, and you name it. Please welcome Kirit Thakore.
Hey Nasser, good to meet you, mate.
Welcome to Fitpod, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right, so I read a bit about you on your website, Life Script,
Okay.
and I've come across, you're my friend's cousin, and so tell us a bit about where you've come from, because what it says in your description, not many people would come back out alive from where you were. It was a very dark place, wasn't it?
Well, sometimes it's, I like to switch it to where I am. A lot of times people see where I am and the things I've been blessed with over, times to say, it's okay for you. It's easy. You're lucky because you've got big fitness following. You're lucky because you've had this success. You've had the big audiences, all those kind of things. You're lucky that your children are doing so well. The family's doing good. But often people don't tend to see, like you said, that where you've come from.
Yeah.
And those things, even, I'm not saying I'm mega successful, even when you see a lot of these celebrities or people out there, people just focus on what they see now.
Yeah.
That's what they
Standard.
focus.
Yeah.
And they have no idea that things like success and things come after years and years of hard work. And sometimes the further you've fallen, the stronger your foundation is for the future if you handle it the correct way.
Yeah, I was going to say that because it depends, like if you have fallen, either you stay there or you get up. And when you get up, you are a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But how many people do get up from that situation? Like, just explain like exactly where you were, because there was a quote, I think, that you wanted to die or something.
Well, this was.
I was just like, whoa, okay.
No, I think many people are in that position, especially these days. But for myself, many, many moons ago, I was in a position where first and foremost, fitness was always very, very important to me.
So was fitness always there, or fitness came afterwards?
No, fitness was always there.
Okay.
My fitness journey basically started when I was maybe about 16, and my brother used to play cricket, Parks cricket. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going back now to the 80s and stuff.
Right.
Parks cricket was massive, and I just fell in love with Parks cricket, and I fell in love with cricket. And then from there, I went into martial arts. And when martial arts became a big part of my life, the cricket fell out. But whilst I was doing that, in the background, there were things going on in my life which were not very good. I got into a relationship fairly early. Mm-hmm. I see that these days, when people get into relationships really quick and make decisions and life commitments, and based on my experience, I can evaluate many things quite quick these days. But in there, so I was in a dark place, and I had going through a bad patch with my ex-wife at the time, and we're good friends now. I would have never have thought of it at that particular time. It's another message I try to pass people, that this too shall pass, and something in the future, if you can see it, you wouldn't worry about it as much now. But people are so focused on what's happening to them right now, which they are in no control half the time. And I was in there, and I was in that position, and I was struggling because I had a couple of little babies and I wasn't able to see them, and financially things were going rotten, and all these kind of things, which I know many other people struggle with as well. But for myself at that time, I was lying there, and I remember I had the pills on one side, the alcohol on the other side. I said, that's it. I can't deal with this. Why is this happening to me? The questions that everybody asks. And I'm lying there, and all of a sudden my eyes were shut, and I could hear words, and the words at that particular time was like, what? And the word was, yes is the answer. And I said, yes is the answer.
Yes to what?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes is the answer. And I thought, yes is the answer. But you see, there was a question going on in my head.
What was
And the question in my head is, am I going to die? Am I going to die? Yes is the answer. I thought, I opened my eyes, and Nasser, on the TV, there was a film playing. And that was somebody on the film saying yes is the answer. And the actor who said yes is the answer was Brad Pitt. And the actor he was talking to was Sir Anthony Hopkins. And I'll tell you the film in a moment if you don't know it. And Anthony Hopkins, the answer to what? And Brad Pitt goes, are you going to die? And Anthony Hopkins at that particular time sort of like realized that this was the angel of death coming to take him. But then the next line says, but not today.
Wow.
Not today. You got a whole life, and I'm on holiday right now, and I'm on holiday, so you have to keep me entertained. And if you keep me entertained, you live. And if you don't, I take you. And that was it. That was my turning point. That was my turning point to think, no. I'm a great believer of destiny. The day you're born and the day you die are pre-written, and I can argue to the end of the hill with that. Yeah. Okay.
That's what we believe as well.
Yeah, okay. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people think they're actually in control of their life. No. And they're not. They're in control of, the only thing they're in control of, in my opinion, is your response to life. That is it. Life happens, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. I think the great Jim Carrey says, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So if you can understand that everything that's happening is happening for you, you respond in a different kind of way. So from that moment, I thought, something, no, stop it. I was letting myself go. I was still training, but I was letting myself go. I wasn't bothered. I thought, something, this time, this relationship I've got is no good. But in the future, I will meet other people. Mm-hmm. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to... and that was it. It just switched. Everything switched. My mindset then switched. And like I said, in fitness, not as far as I'm concerned, I know is the best medicine out there. It is the best cure for people with, these days everybody's got anxiety, mental issues. Yeah. Best cure is fitness. It got me out every single time. When me and my ex-partner were arguing something, I'd go and work out. And all of those stresses and all of those issues would go.
Vanish, yeah.
And I often say to her, this was before, I was like, so you can work out as well. But then obviously, when I came back, I was a lot more stress-free, but she was still stressed out. So, yeah, and many, many other times during the course of my journey to date, exercise has always played that big, massive role in keeping my mental focus really, really strong.
How important is fitness? Now, it could be any kind of fitness, either weight training or bodybuilding, running, CrossFit, right? How important is that for your mindset, the mentality, the mental health? Mm-hmm. Like, would you rather go to the gym if you were having a problem, or would you go to a therapist?
I'll answer this in two ways. The first way is the gym, whichever kind of workout you did it. And I'm glad you didn't focus just on one, whether it's bodybuilding, running, CrossFit.
Anything, because somebody might not enjoy bodybuilding, but they enjoy running.
Yes, and that's the word, enjoy. Yeah. And what tends to happen is I do classes in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Online, people join me from all over the place. Ding, 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 ding. All right, I get on my stuff, and I try and motivate and one thing I try to explain to people is exercise. You mentioned meditation earlier.
Yeah.
Meditation, most people think is Om and so forth.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Meditation is having your mind being focused on the present, being aware of what you're doing right now without this monkey in my head chattering about tomorrow or yesterday or being sidetracked by stuff. That's what meditation is. And exercise is one of the best forms of meditation, because to be good at what you do, you have to be focused on the activity at the time. You've probably been to the gym where you see people, they're in the gym, but they're not in the gym.
Yeah, they're not they're not focused.
Yeah, they're not doing it, and you see the same guys doing the same thing, and they're more interested in chatter, which is fine, no issue. That also is a way of release, because but I find that when I'm working out with most of the team and most of the people I've worked with over the years, my main focus is getting them to do what they're supposed to be doing at the time they're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
So if we're on a bike and we're focused, I don't want you to be thinking about what you're going to do later on today. I don't want you to be thinking about the regrets you had from yesterday or anything. You'd focus, and to me, that's the same as meditation to a point, because you're meditating on that. So, and when you do that, most people's mental conditions these days are the monkey chattering in your head, and that monkey gets people worried about what's going to happen. What's going to happen? It hasn't even happened yet. There's yesterday is a spent check, and tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is the only legal tender you have. Okay.
I've never
It's a very old quote, but that's exactly what it is. People spend time about, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have, I would have, I should have. But you're wasting time right now. Or, oh my God, what's going to happen when I do? What if I don't get this? What if I don't get married? What if I don't have kids? What if my kids don't get married? Blah blah blah. And all you're doing is you're stealing your time right now.
Definitely.
So that's the first one, that how exercise and mental. The second one is a bit controversial, but the amount of times I've said this
I like that.
Controversy. Okay.
Controversy.
The amount of time I've spoke to guys about this. All right. And everybody in the pub or wherever I am, initially, no, not me, until I give them conditions and until I give them symptoms, and then I watch.
Yeah.
What happened to me just before I turned 50, and if you see some of the photographs I've got, just before 50, I've always been lean, I've always been trim, and all of a sudden, mind fog started to come in. All of a sudden, I started to get a little bit more weight around certain areas. All of a sudden, I didn't look how I perceive physical fitness to be. And I saw this picture on a beach, and I looked at it, I thought, oh my God, Kirit, that's terrible. You look fine, but in my expectations, it didn't.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I tried to clean up my diet, it wouldn't work. I tried to train more, it wouldn't work. I tried all these kind of things. This happened twice in my life. The first one, the second one I'll explain a bit later, which is another reason. But everywhere I looked, okay, it came down to hormonal change in men. It's hardly spoken about, and it needs to be spoken about. I've written a book on it. I've spoken to it at various conferences. And women have the menopause, and men have what they call the menopause, which you may have heard of it. Testosterone deficiency kicks in from the age of about 30, 35, and older you get, the more testosterone, less you're going to produce. And testosterone is the man hormone. It makes a man a man.
Yeah. Totally.
Simple as that.
Simple as that, yeah.
Okay.
So that starts going down.
It starts going down, you get depleted. Now, the problem is, as soon as you use the word testosterone, people connect it with steroid abuse.
Yeah.
Gym junkies, oh my God, all that kind of stuff. This is the biggest battle out there, all right? The biggest battle out there, and also the biggest ignorance out there. And I don't get me wrong, up until that time, anybody who mentioned to me about it, I was as ignorant as anybody else. Because you become ignorant in life until you know. Mm-hmm. It's with everything. You become ignorant until you know. But the problem is most people, go on things they hear or other people's experiences without understanding it themselves. That's why I think some religions call it experiential. I'm that kind of person. I won't believe anything. I'll go along with you and I'm happy for you to do it, but I'm not going to sing praises until I've felt it myself.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was ignorant. I was even ignorant about women's change, when they go through the menopause and that. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit shameful actually now, because when I used to hear about women shameful, I used to think, you just need to think more positive. You just need to behave more positive.
Yeah.
But hormones are a terrible thing.
It's a big part.
Massive. And I was feeling it. So I researched it. Couldn't find any doctors here. They're all in America. They have this thing called testosterone replacement therapy. You may have heard of it.
Yeah. I was going to come to that, the TRT, yeah.
And I was looking at all that.
In America, it's quite big, isn't
massive.
it? TRT.
It's quite big here now as well. But in America, it's very big. So I got in contact with doctors over there. They said it's a bit difficult for us to treat you over here, blah, blah, blah. But at that time, the way I was feeling, I said money was no object. I had to get myself right. So I looked at it, and then I went to my GP. And this is something I was telling you about, the second part of fitness and is it mental or is it real? I went to my GP, and I'd already read that I was going to get the response. And you know what they said to me? They said, it's just because you're getting a bit old. Oh, you need to work out more. Oh, you need to eat healthily. I says, have you read what I do and what I am? And I am already very, I'm a motivated kind of guy. And their solution for me, and I said to them, can you refer me to an endocrinologist who will check my hormones and then take it from there? It was a long process. They wouldn't have it. The doctor said to me, we're going to give you antidepressants.
Really?
Antidepressants. My libido, sexual drive, was also down the pan. Oh, well, we can prescribe you things like Viagra and I'm thinking, hold on, but how is that going to solve the situation?
That's just patching it up.
You got it, and that's what most of doctors do these days. They patch up your symptoms. They don't go to root cause. So
the problem is, if they do the root cause, then how are they going to make money?
That's a whole new episode. But yes, you're right. Okay,
and that's a big problem as well. Yeah, the doctors, they need us.
Yeah, they do.
So
and they need you to be sick.
They cure you.
Yeah, they do. It's absolutely crazy.
That's the problem. It's I always say the big pharma plays a big role in our food, our nutrition, our health. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, isn't it? So
the biggest. I read this some time ago. The biggest medication that creates most money is something called statins, and statins are given to people with heart issues. But all you need to do is do a bit of research into what statins actually do for you. Statins. It's terrible. I would not allow any of my family ever to take them.
Really?
And honestly, I'm not an expert at anything, but when I get my teeth into something, I really will. I look at this. I say, yeah, but hold on. Where is this research coming from? Because if this research says wine's bad for you, but the research has been done by the Whiskey Federation, who don't want you to drink wine, then obviously, do you see what I'm trying to say? Who is the audience? If they say that yoga is really good for you, all right, yoga is good for you, but then the people that do yoga are also of a higher income bracket, which means they probably have a different kind of life. So, these kind of little things. So, not diverse, but going back to this testosterone, I was following these people on YouTube, and I came across this place, and I'm not going to name them. And this was a clinic in the UK. Oh, what? Gosh, I was on that phone to them so fast. Listen, blah, blah, blah. I need you to, assess me. No problem. First of all, what you need to do is do your blood tests. So they sent me a blood kit, tested it. Then from the blood test, they said, okay, we need to prescribe you testosterone, anastrozole, which is like an I forgot the word. What's a woman's hormone?
Estrogen,
anti-estrogen tablet. Because they said that sometimes if you take testosterone in your body, your estrogen increases and so forth. I knew nothing about all this because, I'm just from what I read. Yeah. So I went along with it. The cost was a fortune. Absolutely, like a mini mortgage. A month's treatment was about £300-400. Blood tests every so often were another £100-150. So it was a rich man's game. And I remember the very first, I got this stuff come through, and it was all prescribed. So it was all, pharmaceutical, and I thought, oh my God, I was terrified. And I thought, am I going to get this roid rage? Am I going to grow boobs?
Become a Hulk?
Yeah.
Is the green stuff going to start coming out of me?
Gee, honestly, and that was it. And I've got it all documented. I write everything down. Wow. I've got documentation for maybe 30 years. Everything down. This is what I took on this day. This is I took it for about 2 days. Guess what I felt after 2 days?
Good.
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to tell anyone I feel. No. Okay. In my mind, I was saying, oh, I feel bad. But really, after about 3 or 4 weeks, honestly, there was really, in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, this mind fog's going a little bit. You convince yourself. I was terrified of the injection as well. Because if you've never seen an injection, right, they inject this thing in your thigh or your butt, and it's about that bloody deep because you have to go what they call intramuscular. So all of these kind of things were like, anyway, cut a long story short, again with that one, roll on about 6 weeks. I'm telling them, I said, I'm not feeling anything. I said, honestly, you prescribed me this. Then I came across somebody else, another doctor place, and he was saying that a lot of clinics, what they will do is they just give you a dosage as an average. They don't really
For you.
yeah, and then they work it out, and then I started reading that really for the small doses. Now for the listeners or whatever who don't understand the difference between testosterone replacement therapy and steroid abuse is their dosage.
Yeah.
Okay. The dosage of steroid abuse, I don't even mean steroid abuse. I don't like the word. It's because obviously it can enhance you. It can work on everything, like, but so therefore somebody on steroids in the gym, the guys that you should really mess with, they could be taking 20, 30, 40 times more than somebody on testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
20. So you might have these vials, and each vial they have like 1 millimeter of testosterone in it. Okay. The testosterone user might use about 1/5 of that, maybe 100, 200 milligrams of it. A guy in the gym might use 5 or 6 of these, 7 or 8 a week. So you can see the difference. That has what they call super physiological result. That's where the muscles grow big, the face shape changes, all of the hormones can make you, all those kind of things. So testosterone replacement therapy does it. It just gets you back to your normal standard levels.
To a balanced level.
Yeah. Now, if somebody's on, let's say, what happens to somebody whose insulin levels are imbalanced? What happens? Doctors prescribe them the hormone, insulin. Okay, it's a hormone. A woman, like you said, estrogen. What happens? They get patches. So these are all hormones, and so is steroids. So is testosterone. It's just a hormone.
Yeah.
But because it's associated with that,
The gym. Yeah.
all right. And so I soon learned that these people were just taking advantage of people who were unwell. So although they were providing testosterone, they were just doing the same thing. They were taking advantage of guys who were down and out and struggling. Anyway, eventually I found my own solution through research, through and then what I did, and and I say, people, listen, what I do is not what you need to do, all right? But if I go to this doctor and I go there, it's all in my book, all right? Everything is documented. If I go to a doctor and he's going to charge me £400, £500, £600 for something which is available in your local gym, and I'm not saying buy this from your local gym, in your local gym for maybe 20 quid, 30 quid.
Yeah.
All right. And then I looked at it, I thought, I've been gymming now for 20, 30 years. I've never ever seen anybody have adverse effects to, I'm on about the ones who take testosterone. Because they're a different. And when I'm from Birmingham, I was in some really what they call the old spit and dust gyms. And it was openly there. I never ventured into that. And so I went to a friend of mine or somebody I knew who was selling these stuff. I said, listen, can you vouch? He goes, Kirit, I've been selling this for years. So I started my own protocol based on my thing, and my symptoms went. And when I say to guys, these are the symptoms, guys, I said, you know what the easiest way to know? Do you know? You may know. What is the most obvious sign that your testosterone is low?
Lethargic.
Not quite. The most obvious one is you can't get hard on in the morning.
Right. Okay.
All right. Morning glory, as they call it. If you're not having that in the morning, your testosterone is low. I'm telling you now. I'm not arguing. I'm telling you. Do you know why? Because there's something called a circadian rhythm in your body. The circadian rhythm is when your body releases various hormones, and the majority of those hormones are released in the morning, which is why for a guy who's healthy and fit, 9 out of 10 times you wake up in the morning with a hard on. Not because you want to go for a piss.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, it's true. This is when I'm in a group of people. This is when it, because then, oh man, yeah, that's me.
Okay, yeah.
Oh man, and if you can't get that working, then what are you as a man? I don't mean that sexist. It just is, isn't it?
It is what it is. Yeah.
The human species, males, are there to procreate.
See, now I think the society is just too weak now.
Yeah,
just too soft.
It is.
And when you tell them something which is a fact, it bothers them.
Yeah.
But why does it bother people when you're telling them a fact and you want to help them?
Well, what happens is they come back to me privately.
I was going to say on their own.
Yeah,
Kirit, can
you
I
know,
just borrow you for a second?
You know what he's saying? What is that? Well, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, it is. I said, but you got to have some kahunas because, you know, I said, okay, you can get testosterone in patches and creams and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, that's very, very expensive. And that's that. I said, but it's up to you. If you're happy to live the way you are, then fine. And I know it sounds really bad, but sometimes instantly I can see guys and I can see the physical symptoms of low testosterone.
Yeah.
The boobs, the overhanging waist, those are symptoms because body fat. But anyway, but all of that, like I said, was, you know, it was another part of the physical fitness kind of thing. I'm very lucky that a few years later, I found another solution, which meant the testosterone was no longer necessary. Which I can show you that later on if you want to.
So, you know, if somebody's low on testosterone and whatever it is, and they don't want to inject testosterone, can they naturally increase?
In my opinion, no.
Really?
I 100% no. People say, "Oh yeah, you can get it from weightlifting." I don't think so. The amount, I haven't got the figures, but if you have a look, the amount of testosterone, yes, testosterone will increase when you lift heavy weights.
Yeah,
but it's not going to increase substantially. Okay, testosterone will release more if you eat various nuts and various foods, but not enough to make a difference. It really won't.
Really?
A
lot of people think that it does. So I'm just kind of.
I'm not. This is only my opinion, and like you said, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But from all the stuff I've read, and I tried. When I had symptoms, I went to the gym and I went heavy. I didn't make any. If I could feel a bit of difference, all right,
then you'd carry on. So you know
and then the worst is my body wouldn't respond. Testosterone is something that your body. This is why when bodybuilders use it, their body responds better.
Yeah.
They heal quicker. They grow more. That's why. So in a way, that statement in itself is then really the guys who are big shouldn't need it. All right. And same with the fitness, the food. I mean, the foods we have these days. All right, maybe. If we had good quality foods, like we may have a natural foods, 40, 50 years ago, everything's processed these days.
That's another problem.
So
again, it's a big farmer, isn't it?
It is. So it's one of these kind of things. I say to yourself, right, okay, listen, here's an injection. All right. And when I
crack on with it.
That's it. I'm at a stage in my life, get on with it.
Yeah.
Do you want to live I say this to, and I've said this to some mates, and forgive me if I offend anybody, but I said, listen, if you want to live like a couch potato for the rest of your life and have nothing going on downstairs, which means you can have nothing going upstairs, which means your relationship at home is going to be rubbish, because if there's no physical action at home, it's going to be rubbish. I don't care how old you are, then crack on. I don't have any intention of doing that. I have no intention. I still, I'm 57 and I still want to smash out my push-ups, press-ups, pull-ups. Right now I've got my own physical goals, because I've gone past that stage of training other people and all that kind of stuff. I've done all that most of my life.
50, I was thinking you're about 47,
Yeah, whatever. Well, yeah.
Honestly, God.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, 57.
Wow.
So, but a lot of that is
a lot of that is testosterone.
Yeah, testosterone. That's it. You know what I mean? But like I said, that it's one of those kind of things. It is what it is. It is what it is.
So what made you become a motivational speaker in mental health and you know?
You are what you are. My most recent book, and I'm going to go into this, right? Everything I ever knew about weight loss was wrong until about 8 months ago. Everything, calorie cutting, Atkins diet, eat fat diet, eat 6 meals a day, all of it's wrong. And I wrote a book and it's doing quite well. I'll talk, if you can remember that point, I'll come back to that in a second. But the motivational speaking, I enjoyed, when I did martial arts for a long time. Mm-hmm. And that then pushed me forward towards taking classes, fitness classes. And I was finding that through the fitness, I was encouraging people to become a better version of themselves, because that was just the way I could see what a person could actually be, mm-hmm. as opposed to what they thought they were. Yeah. And from that, and the film was called Meet Joe Black, the one that intro. And ever since then, films spoke out to me. So I would watch a film, I'd be just watching it, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, what? I don't have to rewind. My kids, when they were younger, and my missus now, they get a bit fed up. No, stop. I said, did you hear what he just said? Or did you see what?
Can you just watch the film?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. I said, no, honestly. So, and then I'd write it down. And when we used to when I used to have my fitness schools, and I was very blessed, we'd have end of year parties, and there'd be hundreds of people there, and I'd get up and I'd talk, and I found it very uplifting just to go up and talk. So I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I got this thing. I'm going to do a talk on how films motivate and inspire me, and that's where the idea of life script came. And I had all of these notes in this book, and I couldn't put down a presentation. And so I did what most famous writers do. They go away somewhere in the middle of nowhere and just lock themselves away. And I said to my missus, I'm going to do that. She goes, just go and do it, will you? So just do it.
Shit in the background.
Yeah, I know. So I flew to Spain. I found this little place overlooking the sea. I was there for a few days, and oh my God, now it all just came out. I wrote everything in that presentation, this, that, and the other slides, videos, all that came, bam, and ready to go. And pre-COVID, I'd done about 8 shows, and they were going really well. And then obviously COVID came and things changed. So that was the motivational part there. And it's still a big love of my life, is to just trying to help people, just try and move forward a bit.
Especially people who are suffering.
Yeah, it's suffering, but it's sometimes even people. The nice thing about my life script is it's not like your Anthony Robbins or Jim Rohn or Les Brown, where people know what they're going for. They go there because they want to be, and it's brilliant. Don't you? Because I've lived that more of my life. But suddenly people are going to come to my talks and they think they're going to be talking about films, but they leave uplifted. Yeah, they leave uplifted because I mention, I'll say one kind of film, and like, for instance, I use films from A to Z. All right, so name me any letter from A to Z. G. Good Will Hunting. Okay, it's a film with Matt Damon in it and Robin Williams in there. All right, and in that particular film, all right, he gives an example of, like, Matt Damon. He wants to chat this girl up, but she's perfect. And he goes, I don't really want to go out with her, because when I go out with her, what if I find out she's not perfect? Yeah. And Robin Williams says, listen, sport, no one's perfect in this world. And then he goes on to tell a little story about his wife. He goes, my wife, I loved her so much, my God. And he goes, my wife, when she was in bed, she used to fart in bed. And he goes, what? Your wife used to fart in bed? And he goes, yeah. He goes, one time she farted so loud she woke herself up, and I had to blame it on the dog. And he couldn't, and Matt Damon was laughing as well. And then my wife was, she died a couple of years ago. And he goes, and then towards the end of her death period, all you could just see her breathing and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, what I would do right now to hear those noises again to make sure they're live. And he goes, the things that the things that we call imperfections in life are really the things that are perfect for you, perfect for that person. So I try to expand on that a little bit. I said, when you go home, look at the things that you think irritate you about people, especially your loved ones. You're going to miss those. And then that particular story is very close to my own heart, because my dear mum, she passed away about 3 years ago, and she had dementia, which is another book I wrote on. And I remember when towards the end of her days, she used to live in my place, and at night sometimes, not to disturb me, she wouldn't put the lights on. And a few times as she got older and frailer, she fell. So I installed all these lights. It looked like an airport runway. So when she'd walk in, and then, when I used to stay, and sometimes she'd wake up and she'd walk, and I'm like, oh, Mom, go to sleep. The lights would come on. The toilet would flush, and flush, because she could do it obviously with dementia, and that's another big subject, very close to my heart. She would repeat the things over and over again, and she'd come back, lights would come on. But Nasa, after she passed away, and I was saying, what's the thing you think I missed most?
The lights.
Yeah. So those imperfections were the perfect things in my life.
100%.
So when I talk about a film, so all of a sudden it's gone from a film to something that's hopefully touched somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
And out of the 26 films from A to Z, something's going to touch somebody somewhere. And that's a big difference. So I will be picking that back up again pretty soon.
So what are your plans right now?
I don't have any.
So
my personal goals, I think most people are so fixated with goals and plans. They don't enjoy the journey. They don't, it's like weddings. Sometimes I see so many brides, and more brides than grooms. They're so stressed out about this, that, the other, whatever, all for the one day. What about everything that's happened between now and then, the whole journey? So for me, I know it sounds very philosophical. I don't really have any plans. If you say, what's my end goal? My end game is to have a little hut. I've said this to my kids already. They're all grown. I've been very fortunate. They're all grown, married and whatever. I just want to live in a hut, in a small place. I have no interest in materialistic things. Ideally with the sea on one side, mountains on the other side.
You're not asking for much. Sea on one side, mountains.
I've seen many places in the world.
A bit of sun.
Yeah. I'm asking for things which are natural measure. Yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Blue sky, sand, sea, mountains,
and a small pool. No, I was just joking. No, but not even that. I mean, I this year I've travelled, I think, almost every single month just on my search.
Oh,
yeah, just going to places. It might be 1 or 2 days. It might go 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
Go and see. Would I like to settle here? Would I like to settle here?
So you're quite serious about moving out then, aren't you?
It's happening. That's the one
it's a
thing.
good job I got you in now. Otherwise, I would have had to send you
come out to wherever I was.
Flight ticket.
And this internet and all that thing. It takes you anywhere these days.
I know it does, but that face to face.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
You just can't beat it. I mean, you can have all kinds of technology, but you can never beat face to face. That's important, and that brings me to another thing was kids today, the society today. They're so fixated on the technology that I think they have forgotten how to live and communicate with people.
Yeah.
And where does that take them next 5 to 10 years?
It's like an old book, George Orwell, 1984.
Because they don't want to come out. I mean, our childhood was, out on streets playing, not necessarily messing about, but we were outside the house. Interaction with other people. We were playing sports. We were doing it. And now everything's just online. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm playing a game with my friend. What are you doing? I'm playing this Minecraft or whatever it is with such and such person. I was like, wow. Just
I think when you said earlier about pharmaceuticals controlling so many things, I am one of these believers that there's a bigger powers to be than what we see. I'm a great believer in that. In fact, when 9/11 went, I was like 3 months. My mind went into some kind of overload. Bloody hell, what the hell? How did this? And all these kind of conspiracy theory kind of stuff. But as you get sort of older and older, I realize that there's nothing, to be honest, that any of us can do about it. Yeah. But I see the consequence of these actions being really, really the downfall of what we are. You look at this AI today; it looks amazing and wonderful. All right, and
I love the AI and the Chat GPT. I love it. But a lot of people think it's going to take over, but I believe that if we use it properly,
it's not whether we use it properly. I'm sure you use it properly, I'll use it properly. 100%. But it's a powers to be. If you've got somebody right now, okay, and hardly ever comes out their room, hardly does anything. All of a sudden, they can get AI as a companion. They don't need to do anything. And so therefore, already these days, I'm sure you've heard these stories so much from your parents, elders. Oh, when we were young, we knew everybody's phone numbers off by heart. Yeah. So mine was active. Oh, we knew we'd go visiting all the time. Social interactive. We would do all this manual labor. Physical activity. The foods, we'd be cooking at home 4 or 5 times a week. All of these things were happening. Every single one of those is going down this other end for what they call convenience. But if you think about it or look at it, is it convenience or is it more control where human beings themselves don't have that much about them? If you're a guy, I believe in the next 5, 10, 15 years, a guy or a girl are never going to have to look for another guy or girl.
Yeah. I mean, you can get like partners, AI partners.
That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, right now there might be a thing, but so if you can get, let's say you're, luckily me and you are blessed with the good looks and all that kind of stuff, so we got no issues. But you can be anybody these days and can have a 10 out of 10 looking partner, without even leaving your room. You don't have to go out your room. I know people.
Wouldn't that be like? Isn't like I don't understand the. How can people, because there are people out there like that just don't come out their rooms and even now, how can you not have that social interaction with people? Like, what does your mind have to tell you that, no, it's all right, you can stay in front of a screen, stay there?
It's hypnotism of some sort. It's mass hypnotism. And I don't know if it's in the food we eat, the drinks that we have, but there is more and more people suffering. And another job I did when this little, you probably don't know about this, when COVID hit, I had the biggest Bhangra fitness company in the country. I had over 200 instructors delivering my sessions. We performed at the Manchester Indoor Arena in front of about 20,000 people the night before the India-Pakistan cricket game. We had big Bhangra artists like DJ Frenzy, Guru Randhawa. They were there. We were the pre-engagement crowd. And this is all from a Gujarati boy who's not, because Bhangra is Punjabi dance, who couldn't dance, couldn't put 2 feet together about 7-8 years ago, put some stuff together and rose to the top. So business for me was phenomenal. Then overnight, COVID came. All my instructors stopped paying their fees. All my classes stopped. My income went from whatever.
How did that affect your mental health? Because it took a toll on a lot of people.
It did. It took a toll. It did. But I just thought, okay, this is one thing. Now let's just try something else. I always wanted to go down the online theory route anyway, because online I can teach anywhere in the world. Yeah. And I've done that when I go on holiday, like I've been away every month this year. When I go, I teach from abroad. There's my camera. There's my laptop. Bang, done. There's session. Doesn't matter. So everyone in the where my members turned me. So I wanted to go down there. We did the biggest Navratri, which is a Gujarati festival, online. We had so many hundreds of people from around the world dressing up. We did all that, but unfortunately, it was still not giving me the regular income that I had from before. So I had to go into employment. I'm not one of these kind of people that will just keep thinking, something's going to turn, I got to make it happen. So I went to employment. My only qualifications were in the fitness field, and there was no jobs in the fitness field. But you know what job I took? I took a job as a prison officer.
Okay.
And I worked in Leicester Prison. And that opened my eyes out to how rotten this world is going. It was because I saw...
Give us the story. There must be one story.
There's loads of stories. Loads. First of all, how rotten the system is. It's rotten to the core. All I am just, saying all the authoritative systems in this world and country are rotten. They're power driven. They are power driven. I went in there and, we had to go called CNR, which basically means you restrain people, and there's 3 officers to 1. Of course, it's easy to restrain if there's 3 of you with 1. But when certain people are being overly aggressive with people, when there's institutionalized racism in there, you see it, you think, oh my God. I stayed there for a couple of years, but I had to leave because I couldn't live with that, and I couldn't change it. I couldn't change it. And, but there were some great people in there. But I would say 80% of people, they shouldn't be in there.
Really?
They should be in a hospital.
Wow.
They should be in a hospital. The other day, it's really funny. I still work with prisons and that. And I actually, my fitness helped me so much in there. Because when I went in there, a few of the top boys in there, after a couple of months, I heard you do fitness. Yeah, I heard you had a big body. And they all know it because they've all got phones and shit. So they've seen it all on, Online, yeah. So I've seen that. Can you give me a 6-pack? Can you do that? I said, well, listen, I can train with you, but you have to do what I say. And I said, the moment you don't do it, I'm not interested. Well, do you know who you're talking to? I says, I don't really care who I'm talking to.
That's not the point. The point is you need help, not me.
Yeah, exactly. I said, if you want it, I'm just being, if you want it, you have to do it. And I remember many times I'd go past someone's cell and they're supposed to be doing what I told them, I knock on it. And he's sitting on a bed with a packet of biscuits. I said, have you done your workout? Oh, not up to it today. I said, well, don't talk to me tomorrow. I said, I'm not going to give you anything tomorrow. And they'd, sorry. And then once I'd got a couple of the 2 big boys in there, and one about, these are big criminals, all right? I'm not advocating how you deal with them. But for me in there, I was then all of a sudden like a mini god in there because I transformed them. Because again, you go back to fitness. Fitness is the key in there.
Yeah.
That's what they live for. They live for it. They get an hour and a half's fitness. You take away that fitness, there's pandemonium. And the ones that suffer and struggling, they are the ones that don't do the fitness. And, they would do a good proportion of people, you say out in the outward world, who'd never come out their cells. Good proportion of people never clean and never help, so this is this mental disease that's going on, and instead of making it harder for people to stay in the house, obviously I'm older than you, but I mean I'm sure you were probably that same sort of generation where if we tried to do that, our parents would just get out.
My parents still do it.
Yeah, get out, go and do something, get some fresh air, go and exercise. Yep. Do this, that, and the other. If you came home, I
still get beat up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
37, but you can't say no to your parents.
Yeah.
And yesterday we went shopping with my wife, and there was a daughter and a mother, and the daughter's like, she's saying to her mother that, well, if you're gonna eat my biscuits, then you have to get your own packet.
Really? And
I said to my wife, imagine me saying that to my mom. My dad. And she was what? She's probably 10, 11?
Yeah.
And can you imagine if I was paying and my son said that to me, no, in that tone as well, in that tone.
Yeah. You see, again, we look at this on the light-hearted side, but it's just terrified. Well, not zero because it makes no difference to me, but these are the same people are going to be growing up amongst our kids that we're trying to be respectful and this and the other. Yeah. But the percentage of people who are disrespectful, the percentage of people that were more than happy to follow some social media guru who's doing the wrong kind of things and this, that, and the other. It's the tide will turn when there's going to be a lot more of these and the good ones.
Oh yeah. And then can you imagine these kids growing up with AI?
There you go. I don't want to imagine that. I don't imagine that. So I'll be happy sitting in my little hut somewhere in the world, go to rot, whatever. And I said to my kids, you come and see Pops every so often. Send me a 10 quid in the post every so often. I'm happy days.
Exactly. I don't need nothing else. No. I got my cold mojitos.
That's it, exactly. Done. You know what I mean? I said, none of my money right now. I said, you got my life insurance when I've gone. You can have that, but now my money's my money. Do you know what I mean? I'm enjoying it. But
some misconceptions and stigmas about mental health and how can we address them, especially in the Asian communities, because men go through a lot of mental health in Asians, and they don't want to talk about it, or they feel out of place talking about it, because obviously they don't want to come across the weak ones. Now, how important is it to talk to somebody if you think you're going through it, or you are going through it? Because if you think you're going through it and you want to talk to somebody, of course you rather prevent it than to kind of get into that dark place. So how would you tell someone that it's okay to talk, to be open about your mental health?
I think especially within the Asian culture, it's very hidden. The families don't want to come out to say my son is like this. They'd rather keep it hidden. Or my daughter's like this. The biggest issue I'm a very solution orientated kind of guy. If I got the answer to somebody, I'm more than happy to talk to people. But it's just difficult because, like a lot of people, it's like going back to dementia, because I know a bit more about dementia. At the last talk I did, somebody says, "Well, if I'm getting the signs of dementia, how can I recognize them?"
That was going to be my next question. But
but it kicks in with both, because dementia is something to do with mental as well.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're suffering from dementia, you will never see the symptoms.
Of course.
Yeah. You will. The symptoms need to be seen by those who are around you. And if the people around you, this is why I try to educate so many. I have a free ebook. All right, I'll send you the link.
Send me the link. Yes, okay.
It had, I don't know, thousands and thousands of people download it. It's free, because my experience with my mum takes me from a place of not knowing to a place of knowing. And if I knew about, the book is actually called "If I Knew Then About Dementia What I Know Now," that was its called. Because if I knew then, I wouldn't have so many of these harrowing thoughts in my head. I used to scream and shout at my mum to eat. "Mum, eat. If you don't eat right now, I'm leaving." "Oh, but where you going, better?" And at that time, because she's frail and she's old, and I think I'm doing her good. But it's not. When you've got dementia, she thinks she's eaten. If you just had your full meal right now, and I say, "Oh, come on, I'm going to get you some more food," what are you going to say? "Oh, I'm just eating." "Oh, come on, but you got to eat." Or, for instance, if you say to me, "Oh, how's John?" "Oh, but I know John's passed away ages ago." And you say to me, "How's John these days? Is he all right?"
Yeah.
And if I say to you, "But hold on, John's dead," and then you're getting upset, because if in dementia, the person, honestly, that's real to them. So for my mum, when I used to shout at her and get angry at her for not eating because of my love for her, I didn't realize at the time that in her head, she'd already eaten. And subconsciously, she was full.
How do you feel now?
Oh, I then go, because I'll start crying. But, so those thoughts of the things that I did to my mum because of my love for her. Don't get me wrong, I was always there. People always say, "Oh, no, but you're the most loving son ever. Yeah, I always used to take her out shopping, this, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, but it's my demon.
Yeah.
But what helps me is when I help others now with it. So, for instance, as it got later, as I learned more about it, when she was eating, and these things balance things out, she would sit there. I always take her to her famous the cafe restaurant kind of place. "I don't want to go. I'm full." I said, "Come on, I want to go. Come and sit with me. What's up?" All right, we'd sit there and I'd order her favorite food. And she goes, "Oh, I don't want anything." I said, "Oh, Mom, I'll tell you what, I know you've just eaten." So I'm agreeing with her. I know you're full up, Mom. But tell her, do me a favor. Just make me feel really good. Have this small little paratha. Have this small little whatever. And just, so stop me eating alone.
Yeah.
You want to see a boy eat alone, do you? You love me, don't you? All that kind of, "Oh, yeah." And she'd eat. But then her body would take over and she would eat and she would eat. And then I would take her to, do you know in Perry Bar, the one-stop shopping centre?
Yeah.
Okay, grew up there all our life.
Yeah.
So I used to take my mum there. I used to sit at outside Greg's and in the middle. Lots of other good coffee shops there as well. Outside Greg's, and we'd get a cup of tea. And again, she didn't want a biscuit, but I knew she liked the shortcake, so I put a small piece on her.
So you learned over the years, how to deal with it.
I learned quite quick because my mum's dementia set in quick fast.
Right.
But we didn't recognize the symptoms at the stage. If we recognize the symptoms earlier, which I try and tell people to say, these are the symptoms. If they're getting a bit forgetful, if they're getting a bit angry, if they're getting a bit
I
tearful.
always forget where I left my keys.
Yeah, but you know that you forgot where you left your keys.
Oh, so it's not.
They don't know it.
I'm all right then.
Do you see what I'm saying? This is why you can never. But if you started to, let's say for instance at home, let's say this is your fridge, and all of a sudden in your fridge is your I don't know, your engine oil.
Yeah.
Okay. Or in your fridge is your something else, because that doesn't go in there. Your forgetfulness is making you think you've put it somewhere else. And then your partner could see, well, why is it? Why is he not always like, why is he not putting that there where it should go? Those are the symptoms. Person suddenly
something that is not ordinary.
Yeah. And or
something that's not normal.
Somebody losing weight, or they're saying they're eating all the time. My mum was like a little wafer thin at the end because she thinks she ate all the time.
Yeah.
But she didn't. Or sometimes when they keep repeating certain things, especially about people who've passed away. From my mum, you just think about it, right? If I lost my mum, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I say to people, this is in prison, I gave this message to so many prisoners. One of the first questions I said, how did you get on with your mother? How did you treat your mother? Oh yeah, she's my goddess. God. I said, yeah, good, damn right. I said, because you are part of your mum. The moment you disrespect your mother, paradise lies at your mother's feet, they say. I said, you were born from your blood of your mother, the skin of your mother. You are your mum. And I only realized this again when my mother left, because I couldn't understand why the pain was so bad. It's like a part of me died, and it did.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when you start to see them, and you think about my father passed away many, many years ago. All right. So when my mum says to me, I saw your dad today. Oh, my dad's died. If I said to her, no, but Papa's not here, she's reliving all that pain every single time. So sometimes you have to go along with it. So these are the kind of symptoms. If people, all I want is for the people, not the ones who suffer, not the ones who got dementia, but the family and friends to be educated in the signs. And it's the same as children, because I've known family and friends, and I know right now very close family and friends who've got people who live in a room. They don't come out the room. But the signs and symptoms are there from an early stage. And if you pick them up when they're quite young, and this society today, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, is a very softly society.
Very.
And sometimes a bit of hard love can knock that person back in. But the way these days,
I personally think there's not enough hard love out there now.
No, it's a very,
and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Having hard love is a good thing. It keeps
agree.
you in check.
I agree with you.
Because the whole this softness and oh no, it's okay. If something is not okay, it's not okay.
Yeah,
that's it. It is what it is. That's how we were brought up. If it's
yeah.
not okay, why would you want to just make something up?
Yeah.
Why would you want to? It's telling a form a lie.
Yeah.
Just so you don't hurt their feeling. Especially with my son now. I've got a son. He's only 11 months old.
Mm-hmm.
No, 10 months, 11 months.
Nice.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Right, that's a great fatherhood there, right there. First son yet. But I've always thought my children, they will have that discipline. They need to have that discipline. Yes, love and being soft and everything, that's in its own place. Yeah. But as they grow up, they need to know their nutrition. They need to know how important fitness is, health is, and discipline and respecting everyone else. Yeah. And especially the social communication. Now I feel good when we see children communicating, like somebody you can talk to and have a conversation. You feel good because you can't find that.
No.
And that reflects on how they've been brought up.
I agree. The biggest barrier to that, though, is society.
Yeah.
You know, you right now could say, right, my son is not going to have a mobile phone till he's 12. He's not going to do this. Suddenly he goes to school and he's 6, 7, and they've all got mobile phones.
They all have.
Or suddenly when they do get a mobile phone, they've got access to everything.
Everything, yeah.
You
But
know.
my question would be not that, no, you're not getting it, because that doesn't solve the problem. My question would be to him is, why do you need it?
Yeah.
Give me a good reason and I'll get it for you.
Yeah. And most of them probably will say, everybody else has one.
But that's not
All my
good
friends
enough.
got one, so they've got it. And but the problem is, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing whatsoever. I just think, like, when we were younger, you're at this generation now, and I'm at this generation now. When I was younger, my parents' law was rule.
That was the law.
That was it.
That's it.
If I got in trouble, my dad would give me a slap first,
And
then
talk
why.
about it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if there was even the slightest issue of my school teacher saying something to me, I've had it. All of these things. I remember one time we were in our garden, we had a next door neighbor's apple tree, and me and my sister, and the apples fell into our garden, and we ate them, and my dad beat the hell out of us. He said, "You're stealing?" But Dad, they felt he did. You know, this is all. So that's that. Now we're in this time frame where, as adults, all right, my generation, as adults, I'm still respectful when my parents have gone, but right until my mom passed away, you know, my sister, she'll tell you that if she went out and she came home later than 10, 11 o'clock, although my sister's like a 40, 50-year-old woman, she still couldn't tell my mom. Yeah. Are you with me? And that's the way it is. Okay. And
yeah.
so that was, but at the same time now, our kids,
Totally on the opposite.
it's on the opposite. So we're this generation where we need to be respectful for what we say to our parents, and we still need to get permission from our kids.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And it doesn't matter. And I've seen lots of people out there who say, "Oh no, I'm never going to let this happen with my kids." I say, "Yeah, you just wait." Because when they get around their peer groups, when they do their own thing, and when they go to uni, and when they do all this kind of stuff, and with AI and with technology, you ain't got a chance. Do you know what I mean? So make the most of what you can right now.
Yeah.
Make the most of what you can right
See,
now.
I think the problem is because parents are too busy trying to provide a life, or too busy trying to live a life that they can't afford. So they're not at home or with their children.
No, it's just, yeah.
You know, how about we all stay in our means?
Yeah.
We don't need £5,000 income. You know, maybe slightly less. Put your life standards slightly low, but spend more time with your children and
It's an
teach
ideal
them.
world. It's an ideal world, isn't it?
Or am I being too
No,
naive?
no, you're not
But
naive.
that would be nice.
I'm not naive. I'm just saying that I think, unfortunately, technology these days is going to be the downfall of things, because it doesn't make, this is like, so
You say downfall. It could be the positive as well, because you could do a lot of stuff now from home.
no, you can. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I mean, like I said, there's I can't remember this one guy. I can't, if this thought comes to my head. He says technology is wonderful as long as it doesn't control everything that we do.
Yes.
And it's coming to the stage, like I said, I mean, AI is a perfect example. There was something on TV the other day about this new show, which I wouldn't want to watch at all, where they get couples, and one couple has to watch the other couple in this show. So a bit like Big Brother kind of thing. But what they do is they have AI is so good.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix.
I'm not sure
It's
what
on
it's
Netflix,
called.
is it?
I just saw a bit of it, but it sent shivers down my...
Because is it real, or they make them do stuff? Is it real or is it AI?
I'm walking down the road. All right, I'm walking down the road, happy as Larry, doing nothing, and all of a sudden on TV they say me with a rucksack and doing something, and I'm a terrorist or whatever.
Yeah,
I got no control of my life anymore. And same as
Scary,
people, you see a video of your partner misbehaving and something, and even if it wasn't real, that thought is in your head. It's never going to go.
Yeah, of course. It's horrible.
This is what I'm trying to say. So yes, I agree that technology is amazing, is incredible, but unfortunately, this technology in the hands of a lot of wrong people,
it's going to cause. It's got
it's
detrimental effects.
it's going to be so easy if there's somebody out there who doesn't like, you know, me and my missus or whatever. I had this with Facebook. I may have mentioned I had a massive following in Facebook. When I said background, I mean massive overnight. I had loads of money taken out of my account. Overnight, I had all my accounts closed down, and trying to speak to a real person in Facebook was impossible until I threatened to get the cyber police, which somebody told me about, involved. Then things changed, but I lost all my following.
Wow.
So, you think you're in charge of these things.
You know,
you see these things,
it's difficult. But
So,
towards the end,
Yep.
I've got some questions. Right, you probably see these deck of cards.
Can I just spend 1 minute on one thing about the
Yep.
health and fitness?
Yep.
As I said before, everything that I thought about weight loss and all that,
Oh yes.
it's very important because I think people should know this. All right. Towards the end of last year, like I said, my whole testosterone thing, I no longer want to do all that kind of stuff. It was just, I just didn't want to do it. I thought, okay, let me see how I feel. So towards the end of it, I started to feel a little bit groggy again. So I thought I did my training and all that, nothing worked. So at the beginning of this year, I put a program together because I wanted to just do some detoxing. I'd never done a detox in my life. Mm-hmm. So I looked at some Ayurvedic, which is all Hindu variations, put a little thing together to try and get rid of the toxins in my body. Nothing more than that because my face was starting to look a bit haggard. I felt a bit rubbishy. And so in my group, I always say, does anybody want to do it with me? Yeah, we'll do it with you. So we did it. And in the 4 weeks, and it was nothing to do with weight loss. There was no calories watched. There was no macros, none of that kind of stuff. I eased back off the exercise because too much exercise could release toxins. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. In the 4 weeks, we had the biggest weight loss reductions you could ever believe. I thought, what the hell's going on here? Well, I haven't put anything together here because normally when I do a weight body transformation program, I increase the exercise, I cleaned up the diet. Okay, and those are the two kind of things. In simple terms. But this one, none of that. I went into it and I found this out, and so I'll end this story with this. All right. So with this one, your body has toxins in it.
Yeah.
All right. And these poisons, toxins, whatever you want to call them, as you get older, you get more of them. Now, toxins. Like for instance, right now, if you had a tiger in this room, and you let that tiger free, it's going to kill you. So what would you do? You'd put the tiger in a cage to keep you pretty safe.
Camel.
That's it. So your body keeps yourself safe from these toxins by enveloping each toxin in a layer of fat. So toxins need fat. Your body encases the toxin in fat to protect itself. So the more toxins you have, the more fatter you're going to be. Now there's a level that once you pass, it really starts picking up. So for most people, when they're about 40, 50s, when they start getting weight around the mid-range in here and all that kind of stuff, because your liver is a detoxifier and all that kind of stuff, it happens. So what was happening is this program I put together was not designed for weight loss, but was designed to get rid of toxins.
Toxin reduction. Okay.
So because the toxins are reduced, there's no need for your body to hold on to body fat. Whereas normally, if you go on a normal calorie control diet and exercise, the toxins are still there. You've got rid of the fat, but your body's in a dangerous position because those toxins are what they call free radicals. They're running around. So what happens as soon as you stop that way of behavior, then your body goes into emergency fat production, which is why most people put more body fat on after they've gone on these programs, because the body's just desperate for those toxins, and there's more toxins.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Did you get that?
I'll send you the link for the book. It's all on there.
Yeah, I'd love to do that because just.
What it is? Shall I tell you, right? I've got my weight chart. Everybody has a natural genetic body weight. Everybody. You can't fight it. It's like we're in the animal kingdom. Right. We are animals. Okay. I know more. We have a natural body weight. My natural body weight has always been about 72 kilograms, always. When I've got into really strict bulking up, I've gone up to 80 odd. When I go back to normal eating, it comes back down again. When I go on to really shredding, I've gone to about 60 odd, but after a while it goes back onto it. The thing about it is my body shape might be different because my body composition I can control that. Yeah. All right. So the first thing, once you get your toxins out, your body, and this is the beautiful thing about it, once you got your toxins out, your body will be at a natural body weight. Your toxins are low, which means it won't want to hold on to any excess weight. So what I normally do is Monday to Friday, I eat fairly clean and healthy. All right. I don't calorie count because I can prove that doesn't work either. I'm wary. I know what's good and what's not. So if I want to eat, I won't eat bars of chocolate in a weekend. But if I really fancy a piece, I'll have it. But come Saturday and Sunday and Friday night, it's all go. And I'll eat and drink whatever I want to do. But you know what happens on Monday? My body doesn't want to hold on to it.
Yeah, you just
it shits it out.
Yeah.
It's gone. It doesn't hold on to it. And it's beautiful. And every time I've gone on these holidays, I went on a cruise not too long ago. Boy, did I eat. I put on about 6-7 kilograms in a week, came back Monday, weighed myself, come back Friday, back down to my natural body weight. Because your body will just do it.
Brilliant.
You've got to get rid of the toxins off first. So anyway, that was where I was about that.
I need to look into that toxins.
Yeah, toxins. It's
I like doing different things that, it's just amazing how your body reacts to it. And it's great. So before we finish,
cards,
right, because all good things come to an end, but not just yet. So I've got a set of cards. They're called moments.
Okay.
Our moments. They're 100 questions.
Wow.
Right? And you get to pick one random question.
Okay.
And you answer it.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. I just got them 2 days ago. I haven't even. So.
Let's pick one.
Yeah, just pick any one of them.
Okay. What about the next year are you most excited about? All right. Okay, this is an easy one for me. It's a very easy one for me. Okay. I've been lucky. I've got kids, grandkids, all that kind of stuff. So this is a personal thing. My life now is all about personal development.
Right.
Okay. This body of mine, if I'm blessed, I'll maybe have it for another 30, 40 years. So I like physical challenges. I think I sent you that one with the 500 press-ups one, didn't
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've had a challenge now. It sounds mad. It sounds like too long. Right? Almost 7 years I've had the challenge to do one exercise. And I count it as one of my top 3 exercises. And I'm getting closer and closer to it. And it's a muscle up.
Oh, right. Brilliant.
Muscle up. All right.
Can you do a muscle up?
I can do it, but they're not a neat muscle up. And I can't do many. And I only did crack my first one about 5 weeks ago.
Oh, bloody hell.
But after that,
muscle up at 57.
But I want to. My goal
amazing.
right now is to be able to record myself doing 10 clean muscle ups before next year. So that's it. So
that's what you're excited about.
That's it, because I've got a frame I built in the garden. Every morning I'm out there.
It's a challenge, isn't it? It's a physical challenge. Like it says, personal development. You've come from where to where. It's just amazing. And one tip you can give to someone who is there where you were.
Yeah.
One tip, what would you say to them for them to kind of think, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be better.
There's one word. I'll go back to my films, X-Men, the film X-Men. Mm-hmm. Okay, X-Men of Distant Past. In that film, he's able to see the future and the past. And one guy goes, I'm just pain. I'm feeling so much pain. It hurts, pain. And Dr. Xavier says, pain is one word, hope. Hope is the most important, most valuable strength that as human beings we have. And the word hope stands for hold on, pain ends. And you just got to hold on. You just have to hold on. REM song, Hold On. If you're not listening to it, listen to it, hold on. Because pain, everybody suffers. Everybody, you think your pain.
Hold on, pain ends. That's amazing.
Hope. And so that's it. So I would just say, just keep that hope going. Find some mentors out there. Find people who are, speak positive
yourself.
About things. Yeah, myself, yourself.
You'll have your socials on the screen.
Yeah.
And, I hope your experience, your journey has inspired someone.
I hope so.
And makes that change in their life. And even if they need any help, they can always contact you.
Of course. No issues whatsoever.
On your socials and whatnot. I won't put your mobile number on there.
It's everywhere. But yeah, you're more than welcome.
But,
pass my number on
like
to
it says before, all good things come to an end.
No.
And you know what? We could sit here, talk about endless stuff. But But yeah, thank you very much. We will
welcome. Thanks for
definitely
having
meet
me.
up again and talk about other stuff
Yeah.
as well. And like I says, I hope people have had a positive message from this episode. And it, like Kirit said, hope.
Yeah.
Hold on, pain ends. Nothing stays forever. Even happiness as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Everything comes
Yeah.
to an end.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. It'll all work out.
It will. Always does. Guarantee it.
You just have to be strong. That's it.
Guarantee it.
And just go to the gym, do
Yeah.
some weight training, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever you enjoy.
Join me online if you want to.
Join him online, and why not? I might join you online just
You're
for
welcome. Yeah.
some
Come on.
shits and giggles.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Come in the morning and see.
Not 6:30 p.m. maybe, yes, but not 6:30
Well,
a.m.
it's proven. Work out in the morning.
It's the best thing. I prefer.
Yeah, but
work out in the
different things for
morning.
different people.
But thank you very
No,
much.
no, you're welcome. I
Thank you for your
appreciate this,
time,
yeah.
and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful.